All right, dudes, the time is now. The embargo's been lifted. My wine glass shows that it's 5 o'clock, and Bill and Ted Face the Music is now officially out in theaters everywhere. And by in theaters, I mean on computer screen theaters everywhere. To love the Bill and Ted franchise is to love kind of that stoner comedy type of humor. They're weird, they're wacky, they can be kind of obnoxious at times, but the main characters are so sweet and so pure and so aloof and perfectly embodied in Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves playing Bill and Ted. So the whole Bill and Ted adventure starts in 1989 with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And I saw this movie actually very, very recently, about a week ago. I hadn't seen any of the Bill and Teds before I got the email to cover this movie, and a friend of mine was adamant that I have to see the first two before seeing this one. This is where Bill and Ted go back in time through their time-traveling phone booth to collect historical figures that they would bring back into the present in a San Dimas, California shout out, to help them pass a history report. 1991 brought us Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and this is where Bill and Ted die and view the afterlife. They view hell, they view heaven. It's very traumatizing. I actually watched it for the first time yesterday before watching Face the Music. My friend recommended that we do a double feature of Bill and Ted, so yes, thank you very much. That was a very, very good decision, because had I not seen the second movie, I probably would have been a little bit confused in the third movie. So tip, if you haven't seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey in a while, I highly recommend renting that movie first before you watch Face the Music. There are so many references, so many of the same cast members are in the third movie. It's kind of mind-blowing. Seeing them age, like 3 decades worth of time, it's pretty special. Keanu in 1991 versus Keanu in 2020, still a heartthrob. I still swoon. Ultimately though, for as wacky and wild and out there as the first two movies are in concept and theory, when you chip that all away and get down to like the heart of the film, it's all about friendship, really. I mean, not to sound all corny about a Bill and Ted movie, thinking about like the bigger picture of things. That is the sweetness of the first two movies, and that's definitely the sweetness of the third movie. So the premise of Bill and Ted Face the Music is pretty simple. Bill and Ted are told that they are going to write a song that will save the universe. The only problem is that these middle-aged guys at this point feel like they can't write that song, and so they decide to time travel to their future selves to retrieve the song that they hope that they have written already, so they can just perform that. So that's kind of storyline A. Storyline B follows Bill and Ted's daughters. Yeah, Bill and Ted are daddies. Ted has a daughter named Thea. Bill has a daughter named Billy. Get it? Okay. And they subsequently time travel to help their dads come up with this great song and assemble this amazing rock band to help save the world. We go back in time, we get Louis Armstrong from New Orleans, we get Jimi Hendrix, we get Mozart, and we see all these people together on stage, essentially at the end of the film, performing in this giant medley of just greatness. But this film in particular focuses highly on the music, and that was really interesting, and something that I liked the most in this film was the attention to detail, to Louis Armstrong's trumpet, to Jimi Hendrix's guitar, to the drummer, I think that she plays with Beyonce. She was just killing it. Everything about that end was just happy. And also actually very nostalgic, because there was a crowd of people seeing live music. So maybe that's just my nostalgic heart talking and wishing and hoping for the day when live music is legal and healthy to do again. I do have to say though, because I recently watched the first and second Bill and Ted movie, my expectations were pretty high for the third one. I don't know, I left the movie as in I shut my computer screen. I thought it was fine. But I liked the first two movies better. I think the third one just wasn't edgy enough. It wasn't as funny as the first movie. It wasn't as weird or culty as the second. It just kind of played a little flat to me. But there's no doubt that if you are a fan of Bill and Ted and you miss the Alex Winter, Keanu Reeves duo and the like, yeah bro, that thing, you're gonna love this movie. They bring it back. Right now, any little slice of comfort that we can cling on to and have, we want. In this moment, they feel like they were simpler times. I mean, in 1989, I was an only child. It was much simpler times. What's really interesting too is that every single Bill and Ted movie deals with time and the passing of time. Kind of in the same way with this film, Bill and Ted Face the Music, we are traveling back into the past by reliving the Bill and Ted franchise. This movie is bringing the late 1980s and early 1990s into 2020 and giving it to generations that may have missed, those previous movies. Like me, I was 1 when the first movie came out. This was not on my radar at all. That's the cool thing about the third film. It's not even just the movie itself, but the bigger picture and what the third film, Bill and Ted Face the Music, represents. At the end of the day, a very sweet story. The good guy wins. Spoiler alert. Everything just works out, and that's kind of what we need right now. This is a film that is so unoffensive and wants to do good. Will Bill and Ted Face the Music save the world? Debatable. I don't think so. Although 2020 is a very, very strange year, and maybe this is the film that will save the world. That's TBD at the moment. But if you're interested in watching Bill and Ted Face the Music, it is available today on all video on demand streams, platforms, anything you want. Visit cinemacy.com to find out more on how you can watch this movie. And until next time, party on.